now I would like to introduce you the next two guests, Fiorella Vanini and Francesco Mansueto, that will have a conversation with me in the next 30 minutes. Ciao Fiorella, ciao Francesco.
Ciao a tutti.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi. Fiorella and Francesco both have, let's say, a sort of common experience because both of them left our homeland, Italy, to reach Saudi Arabia to work on an academic field on one side and on a professional field on the other side. Fiorella Vanini is the chairperson of the architecture program. She's an assistant professor of Prince Sultan University in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. She did a PhD and she studied architecture in Politecnico di Milano, but then the life for her was in another state. Francesco Mansueto is from Turin and he's the chief designer of MedSign Studio and the creativity director of ADD Enterprise in Riyadh. I'm very happy to have you both connected here. And as I was saying, while we had the chance to know each other in the past weeks, I especially got to know your experience in Saudi Arabia, both from an academic side and from a professional side. And I think this is really interesting for our conversation today. As I said, you both left Italy, you both, following our metaphor, we can say that you both left the safe harbor of the homeland to join a new cultural context. And of course, we will have the chance to discuss together if homeland was a safe harbor or not, or whether sailing into new seas and unknown seas represents an opportunity from a designer point of view. And while we got in touch in the last weeks, you both described me your experiences and you highlighted some words connected to that, like empathy, flexibility, and resilience. And you associated those three hashtags to describe the designer's condition that you are nowadays experiencing. And according to that, let me introduce your statement, the statement you proposed for our conversation. You said, designers today operate in a global dimension where empathy, flexibility, and respect are crucial to address the client's needs and overcome the cultural gaps. To endure times of uncertainty, designers must develop resilience. And so here comes the first question to you. As you were both in the position of having to enter a new professional and a new academic reality, in your mind, in your opinion, what role did empathy play towards the new cultural context you were entering? Maybe Fiorella would like to answer first.
For me, I can say it was crucial because as you, I mean, for sure, all of us, we agree that the culture in Saudi Arabia is very far away from Italian or in general European culture. But I believe Francesco will agree with me, you cannot imagine how far it is until you do not land into Saudi Arabia. And it is really a cultural shock, and you might be into very, daily life situation that are completely even against what you believe and what you are used to. So I just give you two examples of things that really happened to me. The first one is the veil. So as a woman, to see, let's say, this veil on the head or completely covering the face of another woman, I can tell you that is quite, at the first, is quite disturbing. But aside from the culture that is generating this habit, living in Saudi Arabia, I realized at a point that the veil is even an instrument to protect the person from the sun, because the weather is so harsh that, believe me, you cannot stay under the sun without protection. So not only women wear the veil in Saudi Arabia, almost all the Saudi men, they have a different kind of scarf, but they have one, and is more or less for the same reason, is a protection from the sand, protection from the sun. So living with them, you understand what is the deep reason of this kind of habit. And the second example is, it happened to me one time. I was with one faculty member. I was already chair at the time, and it was very late because we work on a report that we had to submit. And so her husband came to pick her up at the university, and we just walked out the gate, and she got close to me, and she told me, "He's not going to greet you, so do not try to greet him."
Yeah, it really requires a lot of empathy to understand the reason why.
And believe me, it was, I mean, it's something that for our culture, we consider it a bit rude. I'm sure that all of us, we agree on it. So in my experience, even though we might be involved in this kind of situation that we feel can be perceived as, hostile, we can say, we need to do an effort, and from this point of view, empathy is very useful, because at a point I decided to leave aside the judgment, okay, and try to understand the situation from the point of view of the person who was creating this situation, which does not mean to give up on my identity, but what I tried is simply to understand what could be the reason of this kind of gesture. Sometimes you understand, sometimes you do not understand, but for me, and I believe even for Francesco, actually it was not an option not to deal with those situations, because when you are a foreigner and you basically work all the day, every day, almost with a person coming from the Middle East, there is an option.
Yeah, true. Francesco, do you have any personal experience on that? I think so, because Fiorella was citing you many times.
Do you know? We lived together for a long time. So we arrived in Riyadh more or less in the same period. So we had the same experiences during 2016. I arrived in January 2016 in Saudi Arabia. I left last year during in the middle of the year. So the experience, what we touched with our hand was that Saudi Arabia was something very far from our culture, from European culture, and is trying to run and to reach our culture very, very, very fast. So do you know, when we are, I want to tell you something. When I arrived in Saudi Arabia, I was the only European guy of my company. So, and we were 300. So, and they asked me to design the new office of our company. And I started designing the office, and they asked me to design one office, one closet office for the women, and one for the boys. And I asked them why, what's the reason, and they told me it's normal here to have different office, no, and we normally have two different spaces. So, and I told them, but if what can I do if I have to work with the girl? But you have to ask them if it is allowed to stay with you, if they want to stay with you, if they can speak with you. So it was very hard at the beginning. So, but do you know, the process to change the culture and to change the way of living in Saudi Arabia is very fast. So I started designing this kind of office. I finished design another kind of office, an open space office in which all the guys and the girls were working together. So this is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a very incredible place because you can see in a short period a lot of changes. I think it's the only one country in the world in which you can live this kind of situations. So do you know, I started my experience from Italy without any knowledge about Saudi Arabia. I didn't want to know anything, no, because I want to
keep the surprise for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, because I want to discover the place and the culture with my hands. No, I wanted to touch the personally, no, that kind of culture.
Yeah,
I didn't want to understand and to learn something from other friends. I had also one friend, an engineer that lived for 1 year during 2015 in Riyadh. So I didn't ask him anything. So I wanted to discover the place. So, and I think that and one of the person that I met there was Fiorella at the beginning. Because we created also a group of architects and designers in Riyadh, and you know, I started to write a diary, to write my experiences on Facebook. And all the people asked me to write new experiences because they were very strange. No, it was really something that they didn't listen before. So,
and I think that's a crucial point also because of the bias that you were saying before. Because you know, sometimes what you don't know is always associated with something negative, but starting from your experience, I mean, it becomes clear that probably you just need to know what you are facing to dip yourself into the new culture and then to understand that probably we are different. Probably we will never agree on some details, but it means that you understood the two cultures and the two differences. Please go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt you.
You know, I wanted, as I told you before, I wanted to learn something about the Islamic culture. It was not so easy. It was not so easy, and I started to understand something when I entered in the families, in the Saudi families. No, I had some experiences with my family because I moved also my family in Saudi Arabia. And we started to have experiences, different experiences, when I became part of their family. So they recognized me as a part of their culture because what I wanted to do was to respect their culture, and they respect me and my culture. So this was one of the first things that I received from them. And I have to say also that to be Italian in Saudi Arabia, it's can open a lot of doors, no? Can help you to open a lot of doors, no? To be Italian is, if you speak about Italian, all the Saudi guys, they say, okay.
A lot of people have the stars in their eyes and see, oh, wow, fantastic. But it doesn't happen not only with Saudi Arabia, but I think with all the rest of the world, usually. We are lucky.
Yeah, that's true. And especially to be a designer in Saudi Arabia is one of the best situations in which you could stay there. So I can see that also the situation of Fiorella was a bit different because, as you can see, she's a lady. So,
of course. So, no, but I really appreciate your description because, you know, biases are never only from one side. Biases come from both sides. And from your experience, it seems that the key, of course, is to put yourself in the other shoes and to understand, of course, we don't agree on some things, but probably we also do find a point of contact between the two ways of understanding, the two ways of viewing cultural habits and something like that, but also in the professional world. I think it's not just a matter of living everyday life, but also how to insert in the professional life is something that is related to that. And I really appreciate that from your words, both of you, it seems that Saudi Arabia is a very fertile ground in which you can find working opportunities and opportunities to growth as a designer, even if you need to pass the cultural shock. But I think that also someone coming from Japan to Italy will have a cultural shock in the same way. And so it's a place, of course, where you need to adapt, when you need to be flexible enough to adapt to a new set of customs, to a new set of traditions, to a new set of habits. And just to make, I don't know, another question is that I feel that you see Saudi Arabia as a sort of dichotomy. You see Saudi Arabia as a ground in which we have opportunities, abilities and capabilities on one side, but also some other way and availability to get used to a new kind of context, and so to put yourself into a sort of competition with yourself somehow. So how do you feel this dichotomy between opportunities and the need to adapt yourself to the new context? Fiorella, may you want to say something? I don't know.
I go.
Who wants to go first?
Sorry for
She's the boss. She's the one that can say that.
No, I mean, I really experience even this dichotomy that you are speaking about, because Saudi Arabia changed really quickly and deeply in the last years. But when me and Francesco we moved to Saudi Arabia, let's say this revolution was just started, and so we could not see, let's say, the situation was very far away from the situation we came. So now things are changing very quickly, and I felt this dichotomy that you are speaking about, and I feel it every day, because I moved to Saudi Arabia after a period of teaching at Politecnico of Milan. I was adjunct professor, and when I moved to Saudi Arabia, I entered as associate professor. And I was just there, to have an experience abroad, to challenge even myself, to know another culture. But to be honest, I was not there with giant dream of ambition. I am a very pragmatic person. I'm gonna there. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna work and then go home. And end of the story. I mean, this is me. I just work, I finish my work, and I leave the workplace. But then eventually the story evolved in a different way. So literally, I came from the airport to the university. The dean called me, and I entered the room. There was already a meeting. The dean introduced me as new chair of the program without not even asking me.
What a surprise!
Exactly. I was like, what's going on?
What a super surprise. I mean, congratulations.
So, when I speak about dichotomy is because on one side I really appreciate the working environment I am in, because they took the risk to choose me. They saw something that I was not able to see of myself. And on the other side, I have to accept, for example, when I meet with the men and almost all the administrative, let's say, staff, especially the higher administrative position, are, let's say, led by men, I have to accept that even though they appreciate me and they have chosen me, for example, they don't shake hand with me.
Yeah, this was
So
one of the.
I have always, usually when we meet, I always wait a few seconds to see if they move the body. I, let's say, reply to this gesture,
Yeah, sure.
and I greet them. Salam, how are you doing? Everything fine? If they don't do it, I don't move, and it's fine. I smile and it's fine. So it's part, again, it's the daily life story. So, but again, it's very interesting because they can always surprise you, because there is always something that you do not expect it at all. Okay, even the way you are welcoming towards you when you are part of their community. It doesn't matter how much you are different, you are one of them, and they take care of you. And this is something, even from a human point of view, that I cannot say I found in a lot of other places.
No, yeah, it's true. You used a word that is very, very, very. I really appreciate that is human, and on the same side, I think that it is a matter of sensibility on both sides. If you're not sensible to being in another culture, and you're not sensible enough to let people come in to your culture, to your habits, this doesn't work. If you have enough sensibility to understand and to put yourself in other shoes, I think that's the key. And that's the key of being a human being, let's say, on the other side. And as we have, I said, 7 minutes left, we can have the last thing, because I really want to ask you this, because I think it's another point really interesting to both of you, and is the word resilience. Is another word that you highlighted as a hashtag when we asked you to propose us some hashtags. What do you think is the role of resilience when you leave your home and you go to another context to work and to join such a big opportunity as what happened to Fiorella? I don't know, who wants to go first? Francesco, maybe now.
It's not so easy to explain what is resilience. Do you know when? What I tried to do was to try to mix my way of doing and their way of doing. What I tried to create with them was to have a different. I don't know how to say, but is I think that what Fiorella said before was that you need to be part of their family, to start to work with Saudi Arabia, with the Saudi guys. So that's why the first step for me was to understand how to enter in their culture and how to adapt my way of design, and how to create a family inside of office, because that was the first step for me. It was not so easy. It was not so easy because, we have a different way of working in Italy. I was the creative director, so I was on the top, of the
pyramid.
No, but for them it was not so important. Because all of the guys, they came to me and said, we can design this like this, and I said, start from the beginning. Let's start from the first scratches and start to design something, and after that we will decide. No, do you know, we didn't receive any brief to create an event there. So they normally say, we have a space, we have an area, we have an argument. We have, for example, I've designed one of the biggest art events in Saudi Arabia, and they told me, this is the place, we have some artists, let's design something. So it was not so easy to organize the work and the process in Saudi Arabia. That was the biggest problem for me, to explain them that to create a project, you need to follow a process. The starting point, middle point, the end point. So
probably this is the Italian side that you shared with them. Absolutely.
Yes. I've tried to explain them that this is normal for us, because we started since the elementary school, starting to write the theme, then there is introduction, then there is the explanation. That is in our culture, and it's strange it was strange for me. It was weird. That was not in their culture, no?
Probably because this is the resilience you brought to Saudi Arabia. So this is the method you brought, and then you just adapted some part of that to the culture you encountered there. Probably, I think.
I don't know, but I hope. I hope that I left something to their culture. No,
I hope so.
I think that also for Fiorella was very hard to work with them and to organize a program, to create a process. That was for me really the biggest problem in my office, to create a program, to explain them that we have to start from this point, to do another step, and to arrive to an object. No, so to a target. So this is what I try to explain them. But I don't know if they...
Probably you find the right tune, because they followed you until the end, and so you found the right balance.
Yeah, but do you know? Look at my face. I look like an Arab guy, so it was easier for me than Fiorella. So
what do you think, Fiorella?
Yes, might be possible. The beard definitely works better than blonde hair.
It's a problem for us, blonde.
Exactly.
But as Fiorella can tell you, to be blonde in Saudi Arabia is not so easy.
No.
Really, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. You have to cover your hair. You have to.
Yes.
But I think it's changing. Everything is changing.
Exactly. That's why I say, I think that when you are there, when you are really there by yourself, you can really understand the positive points. And it's always something that I say to my students when they want to go on an Erasmus experience, for example, and they're a bit scared. Oh my God, I don't know. It's so... When you don't know, of course, you can see something as negative, but go deep dive yourself into that, and then see that you will get the way out to adapt yourself and to find your own way and your own opportunity. I always wish them that.
It is a challenge, but you can win that challenge.
Exactly. Guys, unfortunately, we ran out of time. It was really a very, very pleasant conversation. I hope for you was the same, but I need to say goodbye.
Yes, of course.
Thanks to both of you, and I hope we will be in touch again after this conversation. Thank you very much.
I hope so. Thank you very much. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.